Well, good evening, all. I don't think I've got anything particular to say before we get going, so I'll just hand over to you, James, to kick us off.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't think it's going to take too long. I've got the little project here, and this is a project which I've spent many years building, not because it's overly complex, but because I'm pretty slack when it comes to building kits. So I inevitably like the idea behind building whatever it might be, but I tend to lack the time to actually do it, and probably the discipline to see it through right to the end. So I get kind of halfway through the build, and then I just chuck it into the corner and forget about it for a few years. So I've been building this. What it is essentially a Whisper transmitter. So some of you may have heard about Whisper. It's basically like a kind of beacon mode. So you kind of set it running on, say, an HF band, and then people around the world will report when they hear your signal, when they decode it, and they'll kind of upload their spot to like a reverse beacon network, essentially. So you can see online where you've been heard. So I've been building this. It's in bits, as you can imagine. It's got this nice kind of faceplate. What I'll do, it's a little bit tricky to show you, but you can see the construction looks something like that. So it's got several different layers to it. So the bottom layer, bottom board, is essentially the display. When we flip it around, you can see it's got a nice light up display there. We've got all the kind of buttons on the front as well. The second board is the kind of RF board. So that's doing a lot of the obviously generating the RF, and I think it puts out something between 100 milliwatts to 200 milliwatts. I can't quite remember exactly. There are hacks you can make to generate a bit more, but with Whisper you don't really need to put that much out. It's a very efficient mode. And what else have we got? I don't know if you can see, there's like a little plug-in module board at the top.
I recognise that.
Yeah. so these
you have been working on this a long time, haven't you?
I have, Graham. Yeah. So that's essentially the filter, and you can plug that out and plug in other boards. And I've made up several different filters for the various HF bands. You have to wind all the toroids yourself, but it's not too onerous. And then this little hat right on top, I think this is the Arduino control board. I think that's exactly what it is, but I'm not too sure. I'd have to research that again. It's been a while since I kind of put it all together. So you can see it's kind of got, there's a fair amount of stuff going on there, and you just get it sent to you as like the actual PCB and all the components. You have to put it together yourself. If you bear with me, I'll show you something else that's kind of attached. So this little black box is a GPS module.
Yeah.
So this will make sure that the timing is very good, and the frequency stability is very good as well on the board. So where I'm up to at the moment is, well, I've basically got bits of the kit built, and it powers on, and it displays everything it should, and I can configure it. I can put my call sign in, but I haven't gone to actually transmit yet. That's the next stage, and to get to that point I need to calibrate it first, make sure it's not too nasty on the output, and just make sure everything's running as it should. So yeah, it's in bits. You can see there's a back plate here, so we've got a kind of serial input. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of hard to, yeah, there you go. So you've got the ability to update the firmware on it as well. And then we can obviously plug the antenna into the back, and it's got a power jack there. So eventually this will go into a box and it will look quite nice. But right now it's just bits of board. So that's where I'm at. I think the last time I tried to do anything with it was about a year ago. And that's when I managed to turn it on for the first time. So probably in about another year's time, I would have tried transmitting. But
James, which vendor did that one come from?
So this is from a guy called Hans Summer.
They're still in business.
Yeah, not Ann Summers, Hans Summer. And it essentially goes under the trading name of QRP Labs. So if you look on the QRP Labs website, you'll see the Ultimate S3 Whisper board, and that's what this is with the additional case. That's what I've got. So the intention is, once it's fully built, I'll have basically a Whisper beacon box for all of the HF bands, 80 through to, I think, 10 meters. I don't think it does up to 6, or at least I don't have a filter board for that. So yeah, that's the project so far.
So when it came, did you have to put the components on the printed circuit board, or did they come ready set up?
You have to populate it yourself. The Arduino board itself, that's like a small board. That's got a lot of SMD components on it, and that just comes pre-built. But everything else, you have to kind of solder to the board. You have to wind all the toroids. And as I set up several kind of band filters, there was a lot of toroid winding, as you can imagine. So yeah, you have to build it from scratch essentially yourself. Here we go. Malcolm sharing.
Yeah, that's him. And that's where I got the price from. James.
You have to add all the little bits, don't you?
Yeah, you do. Initially, I just got the board, and you can totally use it with just the board because the display is mounted to the top PCB. But if you want to buy like the case to go with it and all the little other extras, then it can add up.
How tricky were the winding?
I don't find toroid winding too difficult. It's not to say that they're resonant where they should be or they're doing what they should be, but I don't find
they weren't bad, those that I tested for you.
Yeah, that was a different board, Graham. That was another low pass filter band board. But yeah, I don't find it too hard. I know a lot of people find it quite tricky, but it seems quite simple. Just count the amount of coils you make, and that's it, really.
It ends up right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What was it like was it just shipping from the US, or is there a...
It actually, weirdly, arrived from Japan. I think the guy that makes it is now based in Japan, or he's offshored it. So the kind of packaging up of the components is done there. Because it arrived from Japan, I remember it coming through being a little bit surprised.
Yes. So what additions did you... Because it says the LFP band. What's the LFP band? Is that the initial band? Read through what it's all
don't
about.
know.
Low frequency band.
Yeah, probably something.
Low power frequency band. Yeah, because there's a 5-watt amp on it as well, or an option for a 5-watt.
Oh wow! Okay, I didn't know about that. That's quite a lot of power for Whisper.
It is quite a lot for what it's not supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Yes, it looks like you either have the single filter or you have a switched filter board. So if you want to have a Whisper transmitter that goes from band to band to band, then you can put in the switched filter board, which has got 5 relays on it, which I think then allows you to switch from filter to filter.
Yeah, so I don't have that board because it just simply wasn't released when I first bought the kit. But to change band, I can quite easily take out the top filter board. It's just kind of mounted. You'll see it's on some headers there, so you can just pull it out basically and plug in the other ones that I have, depending on which band you're going to be using.
Did it come with all the other boards, or have you made those yourself? You've etched those?
I think they came as kits. I don't think they necessarily all came with the base kit. I think I probably brought them as extras, but you get all the components for each band, and then you have to build it and wind everything yourself. So
okay, yeah, I don't mind winding it. I just want to get what I get.
But it also does, and this is one for Jeremy maybe, it does slow Morse as well. So it'll do QRSS Morse. So it's not just, Digimode, it's fast Morse, or sorry, slow Morse, I should say.
So it'll send your call sign in on CW. Exactly. Yeah. So it's either that or data, is it?
Yes, exactly. It's either that or Whisper, which is data. Yeah, needs a computer to decode it.
Oh, that's brilliant, James. Thank you.